Okay, so the House Oversight Committee just wrapped up a hearing in DC called UAPs Exposing the Truth. During Nancy Mace's line of questioning, she asked, "Is there crashed alien craft?" And Lou Elizondo said yes. He also says there's a psychological operations officer, yes, PSYOP officer, who works for the Pentagon Public Relations Office and is the sole person of contact for anyone coming to the Pentagon about UAPs. He says that there is a cabal which has targeted these individuals with harassment, disinformation, and that this individual has provided false and inaccurate information to media and news outlets to discredit any of the whistleblowers. This was supported by one of the other witnesses, Dr. Gallaudet, who's an admiral for the U.S. Navy, who said he was also subjected to a disinformation campaign, where he was brought into a meeting with AARO, where they tried to convince him to question the validity of verified reports, even tried to make him believe that this was American technology. He knew for certain it was not. Now, I gotta say, I'm gonna give props to this committee for asking questions today. Where Muskowitz said, some people would consider you a member of the deep state. One of the biggest focuses today was the unacknowledged program, Immaculate Constellation, where Miss Mace said, "I've been told that you get on some type of list if you say the words Immaculate Constellation." And she said, "Well, then come at me, Immaculate Constellation." And then Miss Boebert said, "Well, I'm not afraid of being on any lists." She said, "While we're at it, the earth is flat, birds aren't real, and we never went to the moon." And she asked if any of them know about any bioscience defense programs, aka a human-alien hybrid program. All four witnesses said they are not aware of anything like this. And then we had Representative Luna, who never holds back from asking a good question, and asked, are these beings interdimensional? Lou Elizondo said that's not his area of expertise. However, the amount of G-force that these things are traveling at would be impossible for a physical human to do. She said, does that mean that the craft are alive? Are they living craft? He said it's hard to say whether they're alive or not because our definition of life continues to evolve, and gives the example that we used to believe that life needed oxygen, but have since found life that doesn't require it. Her next question was a little confusing, but she asked if these entities disappear around religious information, which I assume she's referring to when people say they tell these aliens to leave in the name of Jesus Christ and they disappear. The witnesses were unable to answer this question. She said she's asking because she wants to know if the ones that we're interacting with are good or bad. Several members of the committee all reiterated that they have been pressured to not ask certain questions, and even ridiculed the abysmal transparency of the DoD and intelligence agencies around this issue. Another one of the witnesses was Michael Schellenberger, who is the person that originally published the information about Immaculate Constellation, where he claims that his sources have told him that there is hundreds to thousands of high quality, high resolution photos and videos of orb, sphere, disc, saucer, tic-tac, oval, triangle, and boomerang-shaped UAPs, and says these programs are breaking the law and working without oversight. When asked why is this information being hidden, potentially because it reveals weakness and vulnerability in our airspace. Dr. Gallaudet's story was that in 2015, during a routine naval exercise, UAPs interfered with their exercise, and he received an email during that time from the commander of Fleet Forces saying, "Urgent safety warning, does anybody know what this is?" And the following day, the email and all traces of the video had been wiped from everybody's inbox. And this was the infamous Go Fast video, where he claims only one of the videos have been released to the public, but he saw more from many different angles that day. There was also talk about USOs, which are underwater craft, asking about if there was hotspots, potential points of entry or exit underwater, and even asking if there's any underwater bases. This could not be confirmed, although they did reference an incident in the 1980s. There was also discussion about the biological and psychological effects of coming into contact with these craft, including the feeling of being watched as well as having shared awareness. In closing, the witnesses were asked to define what they believe non-human intelligence to be. One said, based on the diversity of life on Earth, it's safe to assume that there's diversity of life outside of Earth. Elizondo said, the ability to react to stimulus in a manner that requires intellect. Schellenberger said, I don't know. And Mr. Gold of NASA talked about non-biological life, potentially AI and machine life. And Mr. Garcia continued to emphasize how important it is to open reporting to civilian pilots. Although we're still pretty far away from open contact, I actually think the committee did a great job today of asking questions.